back at it again with another shade of blue, sponsored by Core Outdoor Equipment. We are the Kansas City Soccer Journal. My name is Cody Bradley, Thad Bell, Robert Russert here with me. It's the summer of soccer still, but we've also got some sporting things happening. They're off right now, but we're signing players. They're making moves. It's a youth movement, Thad. So we're going to talk some sporting, but we're also going to get to the U.S. men's national team disappointment. Of course, we're going to talk World Cup, all of that. But this is the Shades of Blue show. So we're going to talk about sporting here first. Sporting announced today the signing of Luca Anton-Girolami. How close was that?
Cody, you invoked Inglorious Bastards there. Remember that scene? Garalami.
Yeah. I was just hoping I was not the only one that instantly thought of Gorlami in that scene. But so I'm going with the ja instead of the ga that they went in Gorlami, just because that Giro in there, the Giro, that's the name of the bike race in Italy, the Giro d'Italia. So I'm going soft J on that, but it might be Anton Girolami. I don't know.
So, Cody, are you getting pumped? You know, the Tour de France is coming up soon. I'm sure you're excited.
Not coming up soon. Already happening. Was watching it before we started.
Okay.
And it happened right when the soccer game slowed down, too. Like right when the round of 32 ended, then the tour started. Yeah, that's my weird little thing. I do dive into the tour every year. But let's talk about Luca Anton-Girolami here, 15 years old. Signs a homegrown contract, been with the SKC Academy since he was 10, so already been here 5 years, unearned homegrown contract. That he is starting that contract next summer, and he's going to be with SKC 2 until then. I know you've gotten a look at this guy. We got some pictures of him already in the files. What do you think of Luca? And also say his last name.
Well, according to the pronunciation guide, and I'm going with that, Anton Girolami. So
it
anyway,
is a soft J.
He will be Luca from now on for me.
Of course he will be.
Okay, well, what do you think of the player?
Couple games I've seen him live, I thought one of them he was left hung out to dry. He didn't have his best game. He was playing left back, and I think they subbed him at halftime. But I've seen him play really well at other times. I mean, again, when I saw him play at that point, it was probably he was like 14 going up against adults, and the SKC2 was struggling at that time anyway. But yeah, I think it's a good signing, and I think it's a good future thing. And he has Italian heritage, so he can have an Italian passport. So I believe there has already been at least one or two clubs in Europe sniffing around. Okay. And that's why they signed him at this age. Same for ZLR, the previous homegrown signing they did, Zamir Loya Rinaga. He has the ability to be... Huh?
I said nailed it.
Yeah, ZLR again for the future references. But Zamir ZLR has the ability to go to like be signed in Mexico, and so they're kind of locking down potential talent for the future. Again, you know, mileage may vary, no guarantee performance, but you know, all those disclaimer things. But I think it's good that they locked him in, and he has some time to grow into being a defender at MLS Next Pro and then MLS.
Well, you know, he seemed to be, and, you know, not the case with all these guys being center backs, but we seem to be stocking up center backs. So, you know, if things don't go well the first 20 minutes, all right, next, we put in the next two center backs, you know, another two after the next 20 minutes if it doesn't go well. So, yeah, we got that covered.
Yeah. I think there will be some of those center backs gone by the time he makes it up.
Right,
there.
right.
In fact, some of them may not make it to the end of this year, but yeah, that's who knows.
Well, Robert, I like the business aspect of it that Thad mentioned there, that I think it is an indicator that some teams are sniffing. So sign him to this now. Then there's the parts of MLS contracts that come along with, you know, sell on clauses and things like that. So this is just good business, let alone, you know, signing a young player is always a good thing for a club like this.
Yeah, I mean, if David was here, things might get a little messy. We don't want things to get messy when David Greenwald is here, because he would bring up, we need to sign players that, you know, we can sell off later and make some funds. Because, you know, if we don't, then it can get messy. And, you know, David wouldn't like that.
I know it does get messy if you don't try to take care of business and, make a good profit on these guys. And that's what they're doing. And David
Yep.
Lee has stated this from the get-go as he wants to sign more young academy guys, get them into the system and, turn a profit on them at some point. And speaking of Luca, he's been with the U14, 15 and 16 US national team, so
Okay. And not with Italy. That's good to know.
yeah. No, I don't think he's quite Italian youth national team at this point, but then again, who knows if Italy is any good because they can't make a World Cup for 3 in a row or something.
3 out of the last 4. That didn't just make that up. They they have failed to qualify for 3 out of the last 4 World Cups. That's insane.
Ouch.
Although I don't feel in a certain place to talk crap on other national teams today. Um, okay, so yeah, David Lee and co are signing players. The numbers are coming in. We're hoping for that, and it's good to see some of this. That
Yeah, it is, and there's other signings that are taking place, and I don't know how much we've talked about them on Shades. Some of this has been kind of bouncing around. I thought we might talk about them more a little bit later too, but Moises Mascara, I'm sure I'm butchering that name. He- he's a center back. Amir Carrick, who is a left back. I got to see both of them in person the other day. Uh, Moises is a beast, tall, strong. I mean, he just
it's a
looks
big
like
guy.
uh, they listed him at 6'2", and I think he's more like a 6'3", 6'4", 6'3" and a half, whatever. But
Why would they not list him? They don't. No one lies about being shorter. You lie and make someone taller.
I just don't know why. I don't know why, but actually some teams did used to like lie about making players shorter.
Huh.
But yeah, it was kind of funny. Like Roger Espinoza was like, do a picture of him next to me and tell people I'm like really tall and this guy's just a monster type of thing. But he was big. Just saw him doing like basically very warm up type of training. They tossing a ball, heading it, move to another cone, chip a ball back, all that type of stuff. And he didn't look spectacular, but he was also being run ragged in the heat at that day. So I'm not going to hold it against him for that one.
So,
Okay.
Cody, 20 matches left once we start the season back. Are we starting to get a feel that maybe there's hope here with these signings and movement that's going on?
No.
I mean, we do have some ground to make up for sure, but at least it's going to be exciting to see how things play out. Some interest as far as how players perform and who maybe doesn't perform and who maybe is shipped out. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting for sure.
No, I'm not trying to poo-pah that and be all negative, but yeah, I mean, this is what we wanted.
Yeah.
This is what they needed to be signing players. Then youth signing and things like this, and a big guy in Mascara. It sounds that sounds good, but again, I think that we're so far they're still at like a baseline of what kind of needed to happen here in this window, and so yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily inspired hope that makes me think it's going to be a great finish to the season here. But yes, I'm excited to get a look at some of these new players, and this is a rebuild. So let's see what we have this year, and then fill in the rest of the gaps in the next windows.
Now, I didn't use the word great, but if we get some attacking players that are a
Right.
little more exciting, that's going to juice that up for sure. So that's what I'm looking to see. Probably a right winger. Shoppy's not a long-term answer, right? So we'll see how that
Capita.
goes. Maybe some more depth at striker, perhaps. So it'd be interesting.
I mean, we did get in Capita, and he was starting to be good.
Yeah.
Calvin Harris, they won the 2 of the last 3 games, and the last game they didn't win 2-1, but it was still kind of a good performance. So there was signs of hope at the end of the first third of the season, or whatever you want to call it. So there was some signs there, and the biggest problem was been defense the entire season. So if they can get,
Right. Sure.
I mean, or Blorian is in. Um, if Moses and him can team up, that's some height for definitely for sure. The Amir Carrick, I think he's listed at like 6'1" or something, but he looked tall. He looked strong. I have no idea how good he is until I see him in person, but because I did see him in person, but I didn't see him on the field. It was just walking around, going to get food kind of thing. But
Yeah, I mean, I've seen enough to know that Calvin Harris is not a long-term answer here. That's going to be a consistent producer, and we need one. So hopefully we sign somebody.
yeah, I like Calvin though. He's
He's a nice guy, sure.
Yeah.
more than a nice guy. I think he's a decent winger.
I think he is a decent winger. I don't know,
Yeah, but
maybe
it's decent
more
what this
than
club
that.
needs.
Well, I don't, right now to carry us over, I don't know.
well, I mean, going from mediocre to poor to decent is not a bad step. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, obviously we all want a winger and a forward and a midfielder who are stellar, or whatever term we want to use. But at this point, I think they can produce offense when they have Capita, Calvin, Dayon out there. And as long as they don't give up goals, it's a whole lot better. So,
That's all they got to do. It's so simple. Just don't give up goals.
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
It is simple. It's always, get one more than the other team and you're doing fine. So
Ask Tim Ream and Matt Freese how easy it is to not give up goals. Oh, wait. All right, yeah, we're gonna have to just get to that.
They needed to mention more people than that anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll talk about who's to blame, and we're gonna point fingers and things like that. Any final thoughts here on Sporting and signing some new players and hope for the finish of the season?
I am hoping that there are more players showing up.
Okay.
If David Lee promised 4 to 7 or estimated 4 to 7, essentially he has added 2 to the MLS roster and 1 to the SKC2 roster at this point. That's not exactly 4. So
Okay.
expect more. I don't know when they'll show up. That's the problem. And with Moises and Amir, they're still waiting their P1 visa and ITC as recently as today when I asked the question. So they're still waiting to be able to officially play. But they do have them in, and they're doing stuff under a visitor visa or whatever the right term is, that they're doing all legally and not against any rules that the Homeland Security would be interested in. So,
Okay, good to know that we're following the laws.
yes, absolutely.
All right, we're gonna take a break and come back and jump into World Cup talk. We'll be right back. All right. Boys, I'm not gonna lie. I've been pretty dejected today. I've been down. Honestly, even the whole day yesterday was just less fun than it should have been because of all of the mess. I'm pretty down on all of this. And then I thought everything was collapsing. Messi and Argentina were about to lose there before some craziness happened. Yeah, let's say with the US national team losing to Belgium, Robert, help me out with this.
Man, I cannot say that I am not feeling the same way as you, because I am. But, I guess we'll start here, Cody, since you threw it to me. I don't know if we were impacted by the whole Balogun situation with our attitude approach. But I would think that if Balogun was still out, they practice all week, going, assuming that's probably what was going to be the case, no Balogun, come in with a chip on their shoulder instead of Belgium coming in with a chip on their
Yes.
shoulder simply because of the situation and coming out the way Belgium did and just overwhelming us early. So, that's, you never know for sure, obviously, but that's kind of what I feel happened.
Yeah,
Initially.
Thad, he's spot on there that I don't think that situation affected us as much, but it definitely affected Belgium, and we saw the best version of that team that they were the whole tournament, had that chip on their shoulder. They were hungry right from the start. You help me out with it, Thad.
What kind of help do you want? I mean, do you want me to make you feel better? Do you want me to
Yes,
alleviate your
that's why I
worries?
this is how I set you up, because you're always the even Steven. So if I'm going sad and negative, I know that you'll come in with something.
All right. Well, at the beginning of this, how many times did we say round of 16 was the expectation. Like if they were less than that, it was a failure. If they were round of 16, they met expectations. If they went above that, that was all gravy and greatness, right? They met expectations. So yeah, we did kind of say that multiple times. Now we got optimistic when they destroyed Paraguay, right? But that was 45 minutes of good quality soccer, and then ever since then has been okay. Good
Yeah.
here, good there, but mostly just okay. And I think we just surprised the shit out of Paraguay. And again, first two games that we won was own goals. They the other team scored the first two goals. Already were on the back foot, and we just took advantage of those things. And in this case, everything went the opposite way. Now, on a different day, they win that game probably half the time, right? On a different day. Attitude, ball bounces a slightly different way. Even giving up a goal early didn't kill us because we came back and Tillman scored another magnificent goal off of a set piece. It was 1-1 at one point. I mean, it was not too bad. I mean, I feel like I
You're-
jinxed it because I went and left my house to go watch it someplace else. I should not have done that. So I do
This
It's
apologize
isn't-
all
to
your fault.
I apologize to the
Yeah, I don't like
entire
that.
United States national team in every way possible, and I hope that they will forgive me, and I will not make that mistake in 4 years for whichever one of you guys that might still actually be around.
Yeah, you're right. See, you did give me something there. We had the goal. I had 61 seconds of maybe we can do this in a World Cup round of 16 game. It was 61 seconds before it was ripped away from me.
Even after they came back and scored, I thought that we could come back and tie it up again and make a fight out of it.
Yeah, the second half, Robert, they came out in the second half and I was saying this is better. Now, it wasn't great, but like it was better and they were showing something and perhaps the best they had looked in the game so far, which isn't saying much, but they were looking better. And then that's when that happened with Freese. It was like right when I was starting to feel something a little better about it, then just a calamity of errors. And he survived. He made a bad choice, survived it, and then made another bad choice and got punished for it. Genuinely, I don't love picking on a player for something like that, but Robert, that's a legendary howler.
Well, I'm going to slightly disagree with you. I think it was definitely the right choice for him to come out. It's just what
Okay.
he did with it after that point, because there's no way Reem was going to catch that guy. And you either sit there and wait to become a victim, or you go out and you try to do something about it. So I think he made the right choice. It's
Coming
just,
out, yes.
yeah. Why did he hesitate though that first time? What was he thinking there?
Yeah.
That was the issue. He should
Or
just get the ball the hell out of there.
And
Just
I
boot
think
it.
the decision to settle it even the first time with his chest, like head that out towards the sideline and like
Yeah,
the whole thing is done. So there was a calamity of errors there, in my opinion.
Just boot
Yeah.
that ball all the way to Southern California, man.
Well, it
For
didn't even
sure.
need. I think maybe that's why he hesitated because he wasn't about to swing that hard and he felt he needed to. All we needed was 10 feet.
Yep.
We needed to get that ball 10 feet the other direction in that moment, and it all would have been okay.
And then after he hesitated, he tried to go square,
Yeah.
to pass the ball, keep possession. Just, twice he could have gotten the hell out of there, and he didn't either time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, he was the right choice for being the keeper because I don't think
Mhm.
Turner was making the best saves when he got his last couple of opportunities. So he was the best choice. I'm just bummed that him and again, don't want to pick on Reem too much because I do sometimes. He's been a very good defender, smart usually, all these other things. He just wasn't able to achieve in this game, getting a header out because he was part of the first goal that was given up, right? Or was it? Yeah. So, or a second goal. And they just needed to be better and they were not. I don't, again, mentality, not, worried too much about the moment, about having to be better. I don't know what it is. I mean, we probably have all been in that position where we need to be better and we think that we're going to, we have to perform, that we have to do good in this game. Because the group games, they were going to always get out of the group. Bosnia, yeah.
So the nerves, I guess it was nerves, or the fact that Belgium came out so quick and so fast, and we just had a hard time handling it. But Going back to the free situation, you have to give Reem a bit of credit for at least being there. Other guys could have continued on and covered, didn't. So I got to give him a little bit of credit there. But we can't let the ball bounce in our own box like
Right.
McKinney and Dest did in a World Cup against anybody, let alone Belgium. I mean, that was just unexcusable too.
Mm.
I think there's a lot of players that 8 months ago we were questioning whether they were going to be good enough, and they became good over under Pochettino. They looked good under different games, not all games, but we could see the pieces and how it was kind of piecing together. And then when it came to the final moment against a good competition who was highly motivated to beat us, it wasn't just they weren't coming in scared because I think in their mind they had nothing to lose. They were coming in to beat the United States, the mean cheating United States, blah blah blah. Whether that's really how it was or not, but they came in motivated, and we came in a little bit more scared and nervous about how that thing was going to happen. And then as soon as one bad thing happens, again, I've been in this situation, one bad thing happens, the second bad thing happens, the third bad thing happens. Even if I do one good thing in the midst of that, it's just a calamity of, there's just a cascade of failure that happens, and it sucks. But we see this with other teams too in the tournament. Things go wrong and they just can't quite come back from it. We saw Argentina today, twice in the last two games, almost go out against teams that they should easily beat.
All right. Well, I hope it's okay, but I've got a lot to say here. First of all, the expected maybe American response. Oh, 37 teams got knocked out of the tournament before we did. We made it to the round of 16. I'm tired of it. Okay, our expectation of a country this large, with this long of a history of these things happening, it's not good enough. Okay. The Paraguay game, yeah, we played great, Sad. We did for 45 minutes. You're right. But in past World Cups, we would maybe draw, maybe get 2 draws in the group stage
Yeah.
and make it through, maybe even win our group. We survived a man down against Australia with a mature performance.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
had enough skill, or Tillman's free kick to survive that. That's a step up. Even the game against Turkey, we weren't completely out of that. We created some chances we could have finished, should have finished, and
With a
that game
second
would have
team,
ended
more or
up
less.
differently as well. Exactly, yeah. So I think this is a little bit different story than the past, World Cup
Yes.
cycles for sure. Just you've got to think about this match against Belgium. In the first 45 minutes, we were trying to play, quick, right? And try to get the ball forward quickly and try to play that we've been playing, but it wasn't working.
Right.
What Belgium was doing was stopping that. So you've got to adjust tactically inside of a half. And I don't think we did that. That's why second half, after the halftime talk, we came out, looked a little bit better, changed our formation a little bit. But here's the reason a team, and I know it's a bit laughable to make this comparison, but a team like Argentina or any other team that makes it to this round and goes a little farther is they have more clubs in their bag.
Yeah.
The U.S. can go fast. It can go fast, which kind of played into Belgium's counterattacking, but we can't step on the ball, keep possession, search continually, try to penetrate. And when we need to penetrate, we don't have that club in our bag yet. We're not that good enough on the ball. We're not that good enough making our runs and playing tactically into those things. We're still somewhat of a one-trick pony when it comes to things. We got good athletes, but we don't have that club in our bag where we can slow the pace down if we need to, keep possession, and then just search and try to find those things. That's why Argentina, for example, survives. They're not athletic, but they can slow the game down. They can play those little passes, keep possession, and just keep going at teams until they wear them down. We're not there yet.
They're also pretty athletic, and they also have magicians on their team.
Right. Which helps. But
Yeah.
we don't have that club in our bag that other clubs at this point do that make it through.
I will counter just a little bit because I mean I like I always value your opinion. I will say we do have that club, but it was one that was bought out of the bargain bin at Walmart, not the high quality one out of
right. Yeah.
The high end golf team. They do have the ability to move that ball around and side to side and stuff like that. They were sloppy with it against Belgium.
Oh, very.
They were not,
yeah.
And there was quite a few times where I would see them like, oh, they made the right pass concept. Like they were passing to somebody in the mid or somebody out wide, It was not the wrong idea. It was poorly executed, and they didn't read that the Belgian player was there that could step up 3 feet and intercept that
And
ball.
that's what I mean by we don't have
Yeah.
that club in our bag because it's not precise enough.
We do have it when we have played like against Paraguay. They bunkered. We just tore them apart in that first half. They bunkered. They were able to make incisive passes. Of course, Paraguay is not Belgium. Belgium changed up. They changed a couple players. A couple of their better players sat on the bench so that they could bring in younger, faster guys to do the
Yep.
countering and all the running and create more havoc, which is what we have done to other teams. They Americaned us. No, a little bit. So I just want to be fair. I think they do have that club. They're just not as good at it as in Argentina, of course. I mean, but Argentina has struggled.
And I do think that they have that club, and we're not as far off as this game looked. I like there's some aspect to this. Sometimes everything just collapses and like Poach said, wasn't their night. Like that thing happens in sports. It does. And I know that's me kind of making an excuse, and we're obviously not where we want to be, and that's why I'm so dejected by this. But I don't necessarily know, like, if like Matt Freese made a horrible blunder and they didn't clear a ball off of a strange header that bounced in the box, and it, like, I don't know, there's like those two things, it just, margins are small in this sport, and I don't know that Matt Freese making that mistake and a lack of a clearance on one play means that we're still decades behind and that we're further behind than we thought we were. I do think that the team is capable of that. They just failed to do it on the night. And now that we're talking about it, maybe all that shit did affect them. Or maybe it was just Belgium. Like you get on the field and you see these guys are rabid and foaming at the mouth, and maybe they didn't react well to that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, look at the XG, look at the amount of box entries, look at the amount of, clear chances that we created or more than half chances that we created. There weren't a whole lot. And that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
okay, against some weaker teams, we've got that club in our bag, but we don't in this
Yeah.
situation. We're just not precise enough. We're not insightful enough to play the inside passes. There were many times when McKennie was making runs where he should have gotten the ball, never did, for
Yeah.
example. So, I mean, we just
Yeah.
need to be better in that state.
Yeah, and well, that's a key that you said that like there are players out there that are capable and can do that. It's just on a national team, it's hard to have every single player on the field that's at that level. And yeah, McKennie can do that, but if all the people around him can't make the pass, then
Yeah.
and I see that as a Manchester City. I'll sound like an asshole Manchester City fan here for a second, but they
Shock.
obviously play a certain way that not a lot of teams can play. And in watching all of these players with their national teams, I see it regularly. I've seen Holland do it. They'll make a pass that it's like right when they make that pass in the box, I'm like, nope, you're not. This isn't Pep Guardiola's team that you're playing with here, Erling. Like that's these are Norway wingers that you're passing to. No one was ready for that. No one could have gotten to it if they were
Yeah.
ready for
Yeah.
it. Like I've been seeing that a lot watching the City players, honestly.
If before the tournament we would have had to bet how many European teams and South American teams were in the final 8,
Ugh.
I mean, I think we would probably have bet most of, like, I don't know the exact numbers, but we would have bet pretty close to this.
It would have
France,
been more
Morocco.
than it would have been more than one from this hemisphere of planet Earth.
North, south, east, west. Which one?
The western side of the world has won. All of the Americas over there, we have won.
Yes. Morocco, though, is also in, who is not a
not Europe,
traditional
but,
power.
right?
But I mean, we would have thought Argentina would be in, maybe Brazil, but I mean, I honestly didn't think they would be that good. I didn't think Switzerland would be in, but Colombia would have been an outside one from South America. I mean, they just went out today to Switzerland in penalties. So, I mean, this is kind of the level of amount of European teams we expect. It could have been a variance of a 1 or 2, but
I would have said 4 Europe, 2 South America, 1 America, 1 North America, and then 1 Africa is what I would have guessed before.
You would have been wrong. But yeah, I mean, we probably all would have been wrong to a certain extent. I'm not saying that we all would have guessed this exact number. It's just that it's not that far off of what we would have guessed. And there are good teams who have went home, and there are good teams who came really close to going home.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay, back to the Americans here in this loss. We got the sponsor integration. We got to get the core outdoor equipment in here. So I want to do. We were kind of pointing some fingers here before this started. The core reason the Americans were eliminated from the World Cup. Thad.
oh man, I should have thought about this ahead of time, but I know you like to do this to me because as I like to do to you and give you a surprise thing and make you have to think about it on the fly and try to
I
stall
even
while you think
warned
about things.
I warned you earlier in this show that this was coming.
I don't remember that. Core, what was the question?
Our
He's
sponsor,
stalling.
Thad.
He's
I know it's
stalling.
core, but it was
The core reason the U.S. were eliminated from the World Cup.
There's 16 better teams than us.
16.
Period. I mean, I could try to I could be funny and say it pay to play or the college system or MLS doesn't have pro rel. None of that is the reason. There's
You mean
plenty
there's
of
eight?
I
There's
would
8
leave.
teams better, right? We were in the
Well,
round of 16.
we're 17th ranked in the world. I just went with that. So,
Oh, okay, I see.
but yeah, either way you look at it, 8 better teams. The better teams don't always get through to those rounds. So, whatever. We're not the best team in the world. Yes, we all thought they could have went further if things went their way, but they did. And I don't disagree with Robert. Is we want to expect better from this team, and we have players who are playing at high levels around the world, but so does every other team out there, right? Right now, every team in there has players playing all over the place. France is amazing. England has so much talent. Morocco is punching above their weight a little bit, but they are in that category now, and they will be so dangerous at the next World Cup. Spain, Belgium, they all have talent. We have talent, just not as deep. I mean, the second 11 of this team didn't play a whole lot until the end of this last game, and I think Pochettino's just like, hey, go get your World Cup experience. Hey, go get your World Cup. So you can wear a T-shirt. Get a T-shirt. Oh, I went to the World Cup and all I got was this lousy T-shirt, but I actually got to play something, right? I don't know.
All right, Robert. I thought he was going to go in that game, and I thought he was going to say Tim Ream. But what is your core reason? The core outdoor equipment core reason that the U.S. were eliminated.
Well, I'm going to spring off of that because we don't have the depth that other national teams have that Thad mentioned. Our big guys have to come through, and in this match, besides Malik Tillman, our big guys didn't come through. Christian didn't come through. Weston didn't come through. You could a laundry list of guys who didn't come through when we needed them to, as far as making the difference out there. So, I mean, that's my core reason.
Cody, you had all this time to think about it.
I blame the mess. I blame all of it. I blame starting with the red card in the last game. Not like any of the mess. Starting with the false red card. I think all of that played into this. The fact that Belgium was foaming at the mouth, the fact that we changed game plans, the fact that I think probably our own players even felt strange about the situation. Yeah, I think that the off the field things impacted the result of this game.
It may
add
have.
up all 3 of our reasons, and there you go.
All right. So I just want to flip this around and be at least somewhat positive. Who is the core player of the tournament for the U.S.? Like the best
Oh, the
player?
tournament?
Malik Tillman. Malik Tillman, there's no question.
Robert?
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were going to say for this last match, Malik,
No.
I agree with Cody. I'm going to say Freeman. I think performed pretty consistently and pretty well. A few things here or there that weren't great, but I think he showed well.
Yeah, I will agree that I mean, we've talked about Malik before and when we've done specific national team stuff and how good he is and how good he could be. But I think he achieved even above and beyond that, what we probably the best we could hope for. Again, part of that is that he scored 2 bangers of free kicks, one to shut out a game and one to at least give us hope. And hope is the most dangerous thing.
Right. Exactly.
Did Poach perform as well as we had hoped?
I think so.
Robert.
I'm a little disappointed, like I said, in game, those first 45 minutes, they were winning the midfield. Something, needed to be done. Maybe he tried something, it just wasn't apparent. But yeah, I think maybe in game adjustments, maybe it could be a little bit stronger.
So to jump back, like you guys were saying this earlier that there were Robert, I think you phrased it as like this felt different than the last World Cups. Like maybe the result was the same, but it was different in the way they did it and more
Hmm.
positive in that way. And that's what I would say Poach did. I think this team does collapse in years past on the Balogun red card, and they don't win that game. Uh, I don't think that they're as prepared for Paraguay as they were without Poach. So I think a lot of that is for him, but I still left. We're leaving this World Cup, and I still feel like we accomplished nothing. Like the team was in a better spot. We had a good coach that was putting these guys in the right mindset. Apparently, except for Christian Pulisic. I should have just said Pulisic. Pulisic's the reason that he's the core reason we lost. Where was he at?
So, I mean, Poach said this in his post game comments, and Cody, the mentality change is really what he focused on. Is probably the biggest thing that was positive for sure,
Yeah,
which I think has lended it to the successes that we did have.
but yeah, I mean, just this result, the losing again to Belgium, round of 16 exit. We didn't beat a single team of noteworthiness. What we get out of this? We got nothing. We got the highest viewed soccer broadcast in American history, and they all watched Matt Freese embarrass himself.
Yeah, that was one of the things I really hated because like I said, I left house and went to a bar to watch it because of reasons. And I'm sitting next to people who are not super knowledgeable about the national team, some
Oh, I
who are
bet
not
that was
knowledgeable at
fun.
all. And they're just like, you know, it was embarrassing because I'm like, these guys are actually pretty good. I mean, again, I didn't expect them to win the World
Embarrassing.
Cup, but
Embarrassing.
I had hopes that they would make a run that was deep enough that we could go, man, that was so good. And instead, they made a run that was
Well,
okay. Again, there's still positive. We won the group. We won the group to the point that we could play the second team and barely lose a game against a decent team. Okay. We went up against a really highly motivated Bosnian team who is big and strong, and we took care of business there, even shorthanded. There was very mature performances there. Very good performances that if you want to look at how we did, but also you got to look back throughout history. How many different teams have won the World Cup? 8,
8.
right? And it's been what 60 years since England won?
But that is wasn't it wasn't necessarily about like the longer run that was needed because I think there was a scenario, the same thing that Mexico did. Who saw that game and was and thought Mexico embarrassed themselves other than the chant and how they acted on every call and the whining and all that. But I mean, the game itself, like they put themselves in a position that they lost to a great team and were not embarrassed. I think I see. I struggle to say that because they should be embarrassed because you could hear the
Yes.
chant on international
Right.
television. Fuck those guys. But I'm just saying there was a scenario here that you know get rid of the Matt Freese goal, get rid of the one poor clearance play, and then like, we get in 20 minutes at the end that's fun as we're chasing a goal and there was a scenario where this would have been okay, but I know a lot of people are with me and this isn't necessarily an original thought here, but it is the manner in which we lost this game that is so painful about this. There was a way that we could have gone out in the round of 16 and it wouldn't have been the worst, but this is the worst. This is embarrassing and it was a punch in the face And now today we got all of the same conversations that we hear in 2022, and just all of the non-soccer people and all of their opinion. I have to hear all of this again today. I thought I was a week away from it. I wanted I wanted 5 more days to get that. So we got to 30 million or whatever on the broadcast. 5 more days on a quarterfinal, we get up to 45 million, and another player, another little kid decides he wants to play soccer. Oh my God, we accomplished nothing. That loss was embarrassing, and I feel as though we accomplished nothing in this World Cup.
Okay, well, I will say to all the 3-year-olds out there that are listening to this pod because they subscribe to us on Spotify and other places that you find your quality pods. So please subscribe, rate, review, say nice things, except for Cody. Anyway, yes, it was embarrassing. Losses often are because you get to a point that you just fail, and things all failed in one big cascading moment. I would have loved, you're right, I would have loved for it to be a 2-1 game that we were so close to tying it up. The ball went off the post, off the crossbar, off of some player's ass and out of the bounds. And all of a sudden we just ran out of time because but it wasn't. And sometimes those are even heartbreaking because you were so close. It's the
I'll
hope that
take that
kills.
heartbreaking.
It's
This
the
is a
hope
diff-
that
this
kills,
is
right?
this was worse. This is worse. Embarrassing is worse than a heartbreaking close game on the
At least we weren't
international
so
stage.
bad in our group stage that we got kicked out of our own country to go play in another country, Canada.
They didn't even play Kevin De Bruyne. KDB wasn't on the field. They didn't even start Jeremy Doku. What? I cannot believe we blew this
Because
game.
he countered they countered what they expected us to do, and we fed into it.
Yeah.
Because we were, whatever reasons, okay, I hate to say because of this or that, and because we weren't in their heads, okay. Maybe they were upset by the whole red card, unred card, suspension, suspended thing, and involvement of people that people love or hate or whatever. Beside the point, I'm not in their heads to know why. Okay, maybe it was because Balogun didn't practice with the team for 2 days because they expected it was going to be Haji Riot or Pepe. I don't know. Okay. I didn't love the subs that Pochettino was bringing in at the time. I was kind of surprised some of the subs that he was making. All of those things play into this. Maybe because he knows those players better than I do. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I can't read their minds. I can't be in there. I'm not an empath and understand all of their emotions. It sucks for us. But at the same time, we have a lot of good players. I hope to be around and watch us win the fucking World Cup on European soil.
So, Cody, how do you feel if Poach does not continue to be the coach? Do you feel everything that we've made progress on is going to go backwards again? Or how do you feel about that?
I mean, I've been prepared for it that he isn't going to come back, so it's not, I'm not going to be like heartbroken in that way, but yes, that the exact question you just asked. Yes, I feel like we'll just go back. We'll pay a coach that is on a different level of pay, and so I feel like we haven't talked enough about, and we should probably do it on the other show, but Poach said something at one point, a quote of him like about when they arrived, and like that he thought that there was like a baseline level of preparedness and what he expected out of people, and that he said that him and his crew got there and they were astounded at what they had seen. We need to talk more about this. Whether he signs on or not, someone needs to ask him very fucking specifically what he was talking about, like exactly what he means when he says he was astounded, and specifically who the people that you were looking at that weren't doing what they. We need to know all of this because he comes in on a higher level of professionalism and a standard of this sport from around the world that we don't have. And if he comes in and sees something that we're doing objectively wrong in his eye, then we need to resolve that in some way. We need to be asking more questions about this. I can't believe he just said it and everyone just ignored it. If he just leaves after a year and a half, none of what he saw is going to actually be changed. And I'm very worried about that.
I would like to know, like you said, what those things are. And I'd also like to talk to a coach who has been a club coach and a national team coach, both at high levels, and see how that compares. Because again, this is one of the things with Poach. Maybe he thinks differently because he's come in as a club coach, he wasn't a national team coach before.
You're right.
He was a national team player, but again, these things are so different now than they were just 20, 30 years ago. How levels of people there and technical staff and stuff like that. I saw the level that Vlatko Ananovsky brought to the current. It was leap years, light years. I mean, it was amazingly the different level of professionalism that he brought to the current coming from the U.S. women's national team side. He brought a lot of those people and the staff and the different trainers and physicians and all these things. I don't know them all, but it was just amazing the difference. And I just wonder if him having come from some really big clubs in the world. Now we know like the training centers are not necessarily better than what we have here. Sporting KC has an amazing training center. They just built a great training center for the US in Atlanta, all these things. But what is the difference? Is it because we just have not matured in the youth system? I would like to know that also. But he's not been a national team coach before. Maybe he had a different expectation. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a valid point, but just the manner in which he was speaking about it, I don't know that it's like a difference between a national team, and it just seemed like
Right.
there was just like a base level of like organizational structure and like who's doing like, I don't, it just seemed like, regardless, someone needs to ask him more about this. We need to understand more about that situation, because I can't believe that was just said openly and that we all ignored it after that.
I'll send him an email and see if he'll come on the pod.
Okay, I bet that works. Let's take a break here. We still got some World Cup stuff to talk here, but I need to gather my thoughts. We'll be right back. All right. I told you guys I hadn't been doing a lot of work at work because there's not a lot happening. I actually had work today. Was desperately trying to watch the Egypt-Argentina game. Robert, did you check in for that today? Absolute insanity.
So, Cody, I had a half day today, right? I'm like, I'll get to see the game. I get off at 12:30. Great. The freaking game's at 11 a.m. Like, what?
Yeah, why did that happen? That's so weird.
Anyway.
We've had hours every day. That was like the earliest game we've had in quite a while.
So I literally turned my phone off, paid no attention to my watch. I have one guy at work who's a soccer fan, and he was like, oh, there's so much I want to tell you before I left work. I said, well, don't tell me a thing. He didn't, thank goodness.
Nice.
But then, I get home and wow. I mean, that was a crazy, crazy match. But, you always have the feeling, I do anyway, that somehow they're going to find a way.
Yeah, and I didn't have the feeling until, I'm forgetting who the broadcast crew was on this one, but until the announcer said, it's tough to imagine him coming back from this one. And then I was like, I don't know. Like, it's literally just 2 goals. Like, they need a couple minutes for that. I don't know.
The most dangerous lead in soccer, right? 2-0.
That's right. Sports.
But good Lord, if they had lost, would Messi's whole career be tarnished by 2 PK misses in this World Cup?
Nah,
it's not going to be now, but would it have been?
Yeah, that's always been his thing. That he struggles with that.
Yeah.
But
I saw a stat today that said he's missed 24 penalties since the outfit that was doing the tracking of stats and stuff had been keeping track. He had missed 24 penalties. Only one player in the world had missed more in that time. It was some guy named Cristiano Ronaldo.
And those two take pretty much more penalties than anyone else in the world. But Ronaldo has the nickname Pinaldo for a reason, because he takes every single one every team has ever been on.
If you're the Argentina coach, though, do you let him take the next one? I mean,
I thought it when he stepped up for this one. I thought he shouldn't do it. I know Scaloni cannot make that call right there, and they're gonna do it. But Lautaro should have taken that. I was sitting there like, I don't like this. This was
I called
Lautaro.
I turned to Debbie and said, he's gonna miss this.
Yeah.
Is it just mentally? It's like, oh, this is too easy for me. I'm just not challenged enough. I got to make it harder. I mean,
I just love it so much. I love that this is a thing in his game. There's something about it that's poetic and wonderful. Like we watch this guy and the things he can do. We watched it for decades, and he seems like he is not human. He seems like an alien that can't possibly do these things. And then he kind of misses a penalty. Like you step at the one-on-one, like he misses a penalty every now and then. He's human, and there's something, I don't know. There's something poetic about it, and
He
that they survived anyway. This
he
game,
wasn't.
it looked like someone reminded Argentina that like you actually have to play this game. Like if you want to keep winning, you actually have to like lock in for the next 10 minutes and play. And they just remembered that they're better and were unstoppable.
Well, I mean, he was more than human, Messi, throughout this game. He was mediocre. And
Oh
then he
yeah.
gets, of course,
Yeah.
assist and a goal to tie it up. So there you go. But
Yep. Yep.
yeah, Cody, you're right. Argentina, I mean, like I said earlier, they're persistent. And I think you're right. They did step it up and finally realize, okay, we need to do a little bit more here. But they're just so good in the tight spaces and so good at, finding pockets where they can take advantage and,
Well,
get in
it's
those
just
zones they need to get in.
the difference that between the US and this team, it's just every player on the field for them is capable of producing magic and doing something that you don't expect. And it's just that is just an incredible roster
Except
that
for
they have.
Rodrigo
And
de Paul, unless he's playing in MLS.
yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah,
fan of
he did
Rodrigo
in
de
that
Paul.
well, in that first game, he looked like he was up for it with all of
Yeah,
them. But
first
yeah,
game.
in these other games, yeah, he has he's looked like a bit of a sore thumb at times, I've thought. Yeah. So then the other game, honestly, just as insane. I have been sleeping on Switzerland. I didn't believe that they were going to actually do this, but dethroned Colombia in PKs. So we're going to get we were robbed of Messi versus Ronaldo in Kansas City, then we were robbed of Argentina versus Colombia. So yeah, Argentina versus the Swiss here at Arrowhead Stadium, Robert.
Well, Cody, we may have been actually saved a number of brawls in the stands outside the stadium. You never
Nah, it would
know.
have been
So,
outside the stadium, on the plaza, all
yeah,
throughout Kansas City. Oh my gosh, we would have had dueling banderazos on the plaza. Apparently, oh come on, the whole week would have been so much fun. Like environment of that game would have been legendary.
yeah, it
Because
would
it's
have been.
if
It
we
would have
all
been.
remember what happened the last time those two teams played, like chaos
Yeah.
and anarchy broke loose in Miami, and people were hiding in vents. And yeah, it would have been a lot of fun. But yeah. So Thad, what do you think here? Argentina, Swiss. That's not a bad last game that we're getting for the World Cup here.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm kind of happy it's not Colombia. And sorry to Juan Cisneros and other people who are Colombian fans, but I
There you
really
go.
didn't want those two at the same time in Kansas City because it would have been chaos. That was fun to watch from a way that's not tearing up our city at the same time. The Colombian fans were the only ones that I think had problems at Arrowhead
Yeah.
during the World Cup, from what I personally saw, and then from what
Yeah.
I talked to some different security people. So just different fans have different standards of how they act.
That's all
But
right.
I'm
We get
just,
Messi here again. I'm happy
yeah, I'm
about
so
that.
glad it's not Egypt and Switzerland. I mean, it
Yeah.
just wouldn't have
Oh,
been
how
the same.
lame would that have been? Well, so excited we got an actual World Cup quarterfinal, and then it's two teams that don't have a chance.
Yeah, well, we would have had a better chance of getting in, though.
Yeah, true. Oh wow, yeah, valid point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
So
It
have you
just
guys
opened.
found out yet, or do you know? Are you
No,
still
it
waiting?
just opened. I think they wait until the teams are
Yeah,
established and
yeah.
they open it. So it's
they
probably
wait till
just
at least
open.
one team is established. So
Oh,
when
okay.
Argentina won, I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
because they had a time on it, and I
I'm
was
doing it right now.
while Argentina was playing at the time, like, okay, you can now apply, and I applied, and it's like, nope, you can't do it yet. And then I reset, came back in, tried again. I went through like 4 or 5 tries, had to refresh, reboot.
Well, I'm
And
excited because I may get to see Messi walk by while I'm down there doing what I'm doing.
can you high five him, low five him, something?
Right. Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Security won't mind, man. It's fine.
Okay, your boys requested. We'll see.
I
Thad,
did.
you told me that in that last game you got my hopes up about some commemorative thing that you heard a rumor of, that if you ask the right FIFA person that they'll
Yeah.
hook you up. I asked everyone. I was introducing myself to people that I'd just
I am
seen a few
Cody. I
times.
want a handout.
I was like all of the volunteer, every different color shirt of a volunteer I found, I would ask them about it. Not a single person knew what you were talking. They all looked at me like I was an idiot.
Okay. I
So
did.
thank you for that.
I would love to be able to tell you that I sent you on a wild goose chase, but I did
I
not.
honestly started to think that you made that up and just did that just for me.
Although, if you do get into the next one, I hear if you ask anybody who's wearing, no, never mind.
See, get out of here. I got for a second. I was like, wait, what? I kind of believed you for a second.
All right. So, see, like my thing was, I wasn't going up to around when I was coming in as a photographer. I wasn't going up to like the fan areas and stuff where all that's at for the most part, right? But photographer friend of mine who also didn't know about this on the first couple games, we found out about it from Taylor Burr at Fox 4. Taylor's really nice and sweet, but photographer friend of mine, Roman Puno, I don't know who he shoots for, but great guy. We both found out about it, so he did go up, and somehow he was able to get multiple ones.
Ugh, get out of here. It's
And
just for photographers and camera people then.
no.
You got a bunch of stuff I did. You got a bucket hat that I didn't get. You got
Yes,
things.
that was for photographers. And if you were a media rights holder, you got a different thing. And if you were, there was stuff that like the sticker thing, you got the sticker, remember?
Okay, I got a sticker. The sticker's
Yeah.
cool. I'm happy about that.
I got one of those too, because one of the people was who, remember the woman we were talking to across the table? She went up to get one. I said, see if you can get two. So she brought me back one. But anyway, Roman, I was talking to him at halftime. He's like, oh, hey, I got one for you. And he handed it to me. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. I'm going to give it to my daughter. He's like, you're what? Somebody give it to my daughter because she didn't get one when we're
That's
here
illegal.
at a game. And he's like, oh, and he goes, well, you need one. I'm like, I don't need one. It's cool. And so he pulled out a second one and handed me a second one. So I got two of them from Roman. So Roman's a really cool guy.
So it was a commemorative like media
It looks like
badge?
a credential. It looks like a credential, but it's not a credential. It's on a lanyard.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna find this thing. Also, one other thing that you said was that you had talked to some local people that they had been indicated by a FIFA person that they might not get in for this last game.
Yes.
My logic that I'm using, because again, you TV and camera people, those are different. I'm not competing with them. I bet there are a bunch of TV and camera people that would come in for this. I'm not competing with them. I'm holding out hope for this.
I think
Until 48 hours before, I'm gonna be holding out hope to see Messi one more time.
Because Cody, you have shown up for every game. They noticed that. You know, we had that discussion before.
I hope,
you're
right?
going to be in, man.
I hope I've got my thing every mix zone or press conference they've given me. I've gotten it scanned. I'm hoping that helps. Okay. So yeah, down to the quarterfinals. 8 teams remain.
Do we have a favorite we're calling right now, Cody?
I mean, yeah, it's France, right? But I also said in that last World Cup that I didn't think anyone was going to beat them, and then Argentina did it because they have Lionel Messi, and who knows? But yeah, I mean, it seems impossible to pick against France at the moment.
But do they have the toughest quarterfinal match, Morocco?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, England looked really good. Like they, surviving the Azteca. That's not nothing, man. That was
They didn't all survive the Azteca.
Oh my gosh, Jordan Henderson, a legendary bench performance of a yellow card and a broken arm. God, man, I can't. That is just one of the most crazy stories that came out of this. Like an injury and a yellow card, didn't step on the field.
All right, I don't have the bracket in front of me, but do England and France hit each other before the final?
That would be their semifinal. That would be the expected semifinal there, and the one on this side would be Spain, Argentina. I believe.
No,
I believe that's the way it is. No, I
No.
have that wrong.
It looks like the winner of France Morocco plays the winner of Spain Belgium.
Oh,
and the winner of Norway England plays the winner of Argentina Switzerland.
Okay.
So
That's gonna be exciting.
Let's do our predictions now. Starting at the top, France Morocco. Who wins?
Man,
France.
I would love to see Morocco pull that off, but it's just impossible to pick against them.
Yeah, I would
So
root
yeah,
for
I'm gonna say
Morocco, but it'll be France.
I'm saying France, Spain,
Okay.
Argentina. I don't think he can do it again. I don't think Erling can do it again. I'm gonna say Argentina, England, and France, Spain.
How about you,
Who's
Robert?
Spain playing again? Belgium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with Cody. Sorry.
Yeah, France, Spain. Again, I will root for Norway, but
The world is
England.
made a better place that Norway advanced past that game when we get another week of Erling Holland and Holland versus the English team. It's gonna be great.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
gonna call
Greenwald would argue with that.
Okay.
England as the World Cup champion, though.
Wow, it's coming home, Robert says.
They seem like a team of destiny, and yeah.
Why do they
Do
seem like a team of
Do they?
destiny
Because
versus
that guy got a yellow card and broke his arm, and he didn't
Oh,
step on the
Kane
field.
coming back and scoring the goals to keep them alive in the I forgot who that match was against, and just surviving Azteca the way they did, and
The Congo is that game you're talking about?
yeah.
All right. I mean that whatever.
I mean,
If it's
England.
not Argentina, then sure, I would prefer England.
I just
Fad didn't like that one.
I mean, I honestly can't root for any of the teams left that have a chance. So I mean, I would root for Switzerland just because I don't have anything against them, and Rafa Wiki would be happy.
Oh, we freaking know if Norway won, Cody'd be ecstatic. I mean, come
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would root for Norway.
Yeah.
I can't
love
really root for
Erling Haaland.
Spain or Belgium. I can't
One
really
of the
root for
most
France or Morocco.
rewarding things of this World Cup is just seeing not just like Americans, but there are a lot of people around the world that are soccer casuals that had not experienced Erling Haaland. Like it's not just Americans that are discovering this
How many new
monster
social
that
media
he is.
followers does he have? I wonder.
Yeah,
It's
he
gotta be
did
a
that.
lot.
He's gained like millions and millions of social media followers. It's just it's wonderful seeing everyone experience this.
And I know we'll do another World Cup national team type of pod, and we can talk about just all the teams that we were just impressed with and happy for: Curacao, Cape Verde,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Oh, by the way, I put a picture of the thing I was talking about in our Slack channel, so if you go look at that, Cody, you can see what I'm talking about.
I'll try not to press
Okay.
the leave button this time.
Okay. Okay, how about so before we get out here, there was well how about news of we got a live stream. Sporting KC are gonna scrimmage the Atlanta, and we're gonna get a live stream of it. That's on Thursday morning.
Yes, like 8:30 in the morning.
Okay, hey, look at that. Amy's then there's gonna be a press conference after?
Yeah,
What do you know?
to talk about that, and we it'll be our first time to see Orb Lorien because I'm sure he'll play because he's been practicing with the team. I don't know if we'll be able to see Moises or Amir play because they probably can't legally do that without a P1 visa ITC card thing. But who knows? They could be in by then. I don't know if they would play them or at least not for very long. But who knows? We might get a chance to see that and just maybe see what the new look of this team who all the Sporting had all these players who came in after the spring trainings, like Lasse and Capita and Borges, I think. So a lot of those players didn't really get a full preseason or time to train. So we'll get to see if they look different or better.
So that'll be a nice warm up to the France Morocco quarterfinal that day. That will be at 3. I am just now noticing that there is not a World Cup game tomorrow.
Right.
For the first time
in forever.
And I am not going to know what to do with myself. See, thank God for Le Tour de France.
It's
Thank
gone so
you for
damn
that
quick,
existing.
though, hasn't it, guys?
It has. It's been such a whirlwind and tiring and all of that, but it's been great. We'll look back on this month for
sure.
forever.
Yeah. Hey, I got to see more World Cup games than I ever expected to. So in person, got to do some fun things. But so you're a big Tour de France person?
I am. I check in for Le Tour every year. I also there's 3 big races. I don't really watch anything other than that, but it's in the summer. There's the Giro d'Italia, the Tour de France, and the Vuelta a España.
Were you a bicycle rider, racer? No.
No, I just I fell in love with Lance Armstrong before everything fell apart, and
You and Sheryl Crow.
yeah, I don't know. It's a reminiscent thing of just for any reason that somebody watches golf that it's like chill and scenic and beautiful to look at, and you can maybe take a nap while you're doing it. This cycling is the better chill sport to watch, I promise you. France is beautiful. It's the star of the race. Yeah.
Yeah, I will watch like portions of it just because it's a big event, but I just kind of find it like NASCAR but slower.
Yeah. I'll tell you to check in
Well,
when
they
there's a
don't just
good.
go in a circle, Thad.
Actually watch
They don't always do that in NASCAR either. Sometimes they go through the stands.
watch the end of stage 2, Thad. That was kind of a fun one. Watch the end of stage 2.
Okay. And then like horse racing too.
Okay.
That's like NASCAR for the Amish.
Okay,
So,
last thing. Oh, sorry, Robert, go ahead.
yeah. Cody, I was going to lead into that. Do we have an
Yeah.
update on the world's greatest club?
According to their marketing, the Kansas City Current are the world's greatest club, and they're already here. They won, Thad. I'm throwing it to you to discuss they won the return to NWSL play.
Yeah, they went to Denver and they won 3-0. 2 goals by Michelle Cooper, 2 assists from Croy Bethune, late goal from Timwa Chawinga, who is up for the SP Best Soccer Player in the World, I guess, vote.
Oh, good.
Nice.
So
Recognition is good.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty damn good in relation to all that stuff.
Okay, well that's a good return. 3-0 over the Denver Summit.
Yeah,
Brace from Cooper, 1 from Temwa.
It's an expansion team who's up and down a lot, but they have Lindsay Heaps, formerly Haran, coming in to help them. And fortunately, because the transfer window isn't open yet, she wasn't able to play in that game. So fortunately for the Current, but yeah, they play again Friday. And
do you hear Thad just like trying to get excited for the Current?
No, I was trying to remember who they were playing on Friday, man. It's Orlando.
The passion is not there for Thad right now. He doesn't express it all on this podcast, but my guy is down on our women's team, and he's trying to get up for it here on the podcast to get some energy here. Without Carrie, we needed someone to talk about it.
Well,
he's
how about energy?
When do they play again?
How about
no? I knew it was Friday. I just can't remember who.
The expansion plans they announced this week, guys, makes the stadium up to 14,000? Is that right?
18.
18. Okay, 18,000.
Adding 6,000 seats.
6,500.
$1.5 billion.
Any thoughts on that expansion announcement?
Well, it's not a done deal. It was approved for another level by like Kansas City Council or whatever to write political terms are. So it still needs to do some stuff. I just don't know what. But yeah, it's adding 6,500 seats, and that 1.5 billion is not just for adding the seats, but it's for other infrastructure down there, including a parking garage. Oh my God, the parking garage. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would be the first parking garage built for a professional women's stadium that was the first one built for.
But is all of that like going to the outer area? Because I thought there was already hundreds of millions of dollars in development going in the whole area.
Current landing.
Because how about okay, maybe not. I don't maybe need them to add more than 7,000 seats, but how about is the concourse? Are there going to be more amenities? Are the concourses going to be nicer? Are the seats going to be non-bleachers? Like that's what Thad, we've talked about this many times on the show. It is amazing. The win for the city is that stadium was built.
Yeah,
and
a win for women's sports.
And I'm not being a hater to just acknowledge that it's a base level stadium, and the instant that Seattle and New York and Portland and all these other cities saw it, that we had established it and that it works and that it's a wonderful thing, they were going to instantly do it better and bigger than us. So I'll kind of take a victory lap on how early that this renovation is coming, because I said that this was going to be a thing. But if it's not improving the concourses and making it less of just like really tall bleachers, then I maybe I need to look more at the um the proposal of what they're doing here. But
Well, I
yeah,
don't know
I
that
don't
it's
know.
in there. I don't know the detail of that is in there. Maybe it is, and I just haven't read it fully either. But like the easiest way to get me to support something is by being critical about it because I have to both sides everything.
Mhm.
The concourse for me at CPKC is not bad. There's really good food places. It's really decent for the size of stadium it is, 11,500
Yeah.
people. So will there be additional stuff? Would have to imagine there would be some additional stuff, but I don't know. Yes, it gets crowded, but every stadium I've been to gets crowded at the right times, wrong times.
There's a lack of comfort.
Where it sucks is for the people who are not just fans, right? Yes, I mean probably some of the seats could be bigger because Americans begin not getting smaller, right? Ranch dressing, right? Europe. Anyway,
Uh, it is a trek to get up to some of those seats for. And like, I know you just made a joke about like big Americans, but like somebody over the age of
12.
65, like
Be careful.
like but I know I was trying to there, but guys, like it's on a really hot day, like it's just a really unforgiving stadium. You're climbing a wall to get up to some of those seats. Like it's just I don't know, it's there's a lack of comfort in that stadium that I would like. I'm hoping $1.5 billion goes towards improving.
It is nice to have hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Final thoughts on all of this soccer that is happening.
Hey, I'm excited to, see Sporting go play City. What is it, next Thursday to get the season kicked back again? So that'll be exciting. And hopefully some new signings, right?
Are you going to go to that game, Robert?
Not in the plans at this moment.
Well, I know you talked about going for something else, but that's really
Yeah.
not pod worthy at this point. But
That could change. We'll have to see. Still waiting.
Okay. Definitely bring it up on the show then. That's good. What do you got, Thad?
Just just in general, man. It's been like every big tournament. There's disappointments and there's excitement, and it's still been a great tournament, even with the disappointment of the U.S. falling out when we had expected them to, but not hoped them to. So it's been good.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for listening. And we'll talk to you next week. Sporting!